Is it 12 o'clock?
Just about.
Okay.
I'm gonna initiate the share screen here for those who have the PC. All right.
Good morning, this is Bianca. Just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here. I am driving, but I will be ready to chat whenever you're ready for me to.
Okay, well, be careful, Bianca.
I will.
Okay.
Multitasking at its finest, but hey, you know what? Zoom has a very easy app that will allow it to be active but not a distraction. So I'm almost to where I'm gonna be stationary here in a minute, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here.
Okay.
My kids are here too, apparently.
Appreciate you, but I want you to be okay.
I will.
Okay. I have to go and get my watch so I see what time it is.
12 o'clock.
It is 12:02. Okay. Right there. Okay. It is 12:02. We'll give it about 3 or 4 more minutes, Alan. How many participants do we have?
At this time, 12.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing, Sister Poole?
I'm doing fine. Trying to get this printer to work. I've been up and down the steps. Finally got it to work.
Okay, let's see. Share screen.
Okay, so I need to.
Somebody's sleeping. Everybody, please put your phones on mute.
Yeah, as a housekeeping item, since I'm facilitating, I might, if I mute you, it's only because there's some background noise. But if you're on the, just as a reminder, if you're on the telephone, then I think when you're muted, it's a *6 will mute and unmute yourself. Is that right? *6, if I remember.
That's right. Hi,
Okay.
Alan.
Hi everybody. So if you happen to be muted and you want to chime in, just remember *6 can enable to mute and unmute. And I think
we missed you, Alan.
Oh, I missed you. I missed everyone too. I've been on the road a lot.
Yeah, we missed you for the last meetings or so.
Yeah,
Glad you're back.
Thank you. I was out of the country about a month ago, and then I was in New Mexico recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A traveler, huh?
Yeah, that's the new gig. I no longer work with the city. I'm in
really?
private practice now. Yes. And affirmative. So I'll speak more about that at our executive meeting when I get a chance to get in there too. Okay, so.
Okay, it's 12:03. Well, 04. We'll give it 1 more minute and then we'll start. Alan, can you tell if Pastor Brown is on?
Don't see him on yet.
Okay. How about Mr. Jones?
I don't think Mr. Jones is, well, maybe. I think is that it? That might be Mr. Jones's number.
Oh, okay, his phone number. Okay, I see.
No, maybe not. No, he's not on yet.
Okay, sounds good.
I tried to call him earlier, but his phone was off. I wasn't
Okay.
able to leave a voicemail.
Well, it is 12:05 and I want to go on and get the meeting started. This is our April 2021 NAACP membership meeting. And I know that Pastor Mack is on the line, so let's start. If Pastor Mack can start us in a prayer, and then we will follow the agenda.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this moment, thanking you for all your goodness and your grace. We truly magnify your name for your worthy of praise. Lord God, we love you because you first loved us, and we pray that you would open our hearts and our minds as we engage in this meeting to accomplish the work that you've assigned our hearts to do. Lord, I pray that you would just encourage us, not be weary in well-doing. We shall reap if we faint not. Lord, I thank you for all that you've done and all the things you're going to do. And when it's all said and done, and even as we pray, we'll give you all the honor, glory, and praise. In the mighty name of Christ Jesus, we pray this prayer. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. For some reason, my picture is not up there, so we will continue with the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, how about I summarize what's on the agenda for those who are on the phone? Just real quick.
Okay.
Is that all right? Okay, just the usual
Sure.
order of business. But as for the committees, so we got the usual order of business and committees, and then for unfinished business, it will be A, B, C, D. It'll be reparation resolution for the national. It'll be a youth membership initiative, national training opportunities, and Pueblo firefighter recruitment. And as for new business, it'll be a virtual forum discussion on redistricting commissions for this, including the 2020 census with the League of Women Voters, and then economic empowerment and city stimulus. And then lastly, COVID vaccine initiative partnering with Lyft. So that is the agenda for today.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Okay, we'll have our minutes of our previous meeting. If our secretary is on the line. If not, Alan, can you just briefly summarize the meeting minutes?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. And again, thank you want to give thanks to Secretary Soltafoya for helping with the minutes at the last meeting. I was able to, between her and Roxana Mack, I was able to get something drafted here. So the those present at the meeting was Larry Brown, Mark Holmes, Patrick Hurley, Eric Javino, Kathy Javino, Robert Jones, Keith Madkins, Diarawa Musa, TC Neal, Angela Peterkin, Marty Poole, Sol Sandoval Tafoya, Helen Wiley, Ron Wiley, Carl Wright, Calvin Young, with President Roxana Mack presiding. Our executive committee members excused from that meeting was Ray Aguilera, Florence Hunt, Steve Mack, Willie Hinton, Kenzie Hall, myself, Alan Lamberg, Patricia O'Brien, and Ivestine White. If you have any corrections about those attended, just let me know.
Mhm.
Then the items per the usual order of business, the May and June meeting minutes were reviewed and adopted with corrections. And the financial report was reported and approved by Treasurer Peterkin. Remarks from officers. There was some talk about the planning for the July gathering. And there was Madam President Mack indicated the economic and financial empowerment event for March 16th. Also, she's mentioned that the Pueblo Police and Fire Department were taking applications and encouraging people of color to apply for those departments. also reported that the NAACP Pueblo was awarded a $10,000 grant from the Colorado Health Foundation for a 1-year period to support civic engagement with racial justice initiatives, and that the monies must be spent on those 2 areas. There was reports of committees where each chair who was present would share goals. There was a report by Mark Holmes on behalf of Climate and Environmental Committee. There was also a report by Juan Wiley for Criminal Justice Committee. And also there was also a goal in general, I think by Mr. Wiley, to recruit more members to that committee, to have at least 3 members, and then it would be open to the public. And he emphasized the importance of that committee because in the community of still racial profiling in the community, in the community, and also to combat human trafficking with the Colorado Alliance. As there was also a report by Reverend Dr. Larry Brown for, I think that was for religious affairs.
Right.
And Roxana Mack reported for the community coordination. Carl Wright reported for economic development, and Eric Chabonneau also had for, I think, political action. Is that correct? I think that's correct.
Eric was for economic.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. With comment, I'm just going to mention that comment by. Okay, and then the communications committee, Madam President, reported on behalf of me regarding the activities in that committee. Also, there was Madam President, discussed for housing, the consolidated plan that the city was putting together. And the Ms. Wiley reported that the Freedom Fund banquet check was received from the city in the amount of $2,250. That's $2,250. And then there was no reports from other committees at that time. And Madam President encouraged that those committees would report at the next meeting. And I don't have a time that the meeting was adjourned, but that was respectfully submitted by Madam Secretary Sol Sandoval Tafoya.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
Can I get a motion that we accept those minutes as written with any necessary corrections?
Madam President, I move that we accept the minutes as written with any necessary corrections and placed on file for audit.
Okay, that's Ms. Helen White. Can I get a second?
I second that, Madam President.
Great, thank you, Sister Angela Peterkin. So it has been properly motion and second. All in favor, just say aye.
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 Okay. No, any opposers? No opposers? The minutes will be recorded and placed on file. Now we'll have our financial report by Treasurer Peterkin.
Yes, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, can everyone hear me okay? All right.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the treasurer's report for the month of April, today's April 10th, general membership meeting, the beginning ledger balance for February 1st, 2021 was $16,925.96. The deposits made were the $10,000 that was mentioned earlier that was discussed about supporting racial justice civic engagement grant. The $2,250 was submitted for non-departmental funding, and there was $180 submitted in new membership dues. Total revenue coming into the branch was $12,430. Our general expenses would be our Zoom account for $1612, our national assessment for $445. Our constant contact communication tool was $19, and our membership dues, the portion that we give to national, is $108.60, with total expenses totaling $588.72, with our ending ledger balance as of April the 1st, 2021 is $28,767.24.
Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you for that report. I don't think we have to do any approvals. The numbers are the numbers, and we will place that report on file. Okay, let's go on down to reports of officers. And we will begin with our first Vice President, Ms. Helen Wiley.
I would just like to report that, again, that we set the date for our Mary Jane Neal community picnic, which will be July the 10th. We've already, paid for it, and I received a paper from the people at the zoo, the forms that we have to fill out when we get there that day, and then I have to turn those back in order for us to get our refund back. Everyone has to sign the paper that will be at the picnic, and I will report on the other things when we get down to the Freedom Farm. But as of right now, just mark your calendars, and hopefully everything will go well for July the 10th, starting at noon for our Mary Jane Neal community picnic.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Helen. And if you could just briefly go over exactly what the Mary Jane community cookout is about for those new members.
Let's see. What we really do out there is try to, it's our general meeting for one thing, and then we try to feed the homeless. I think we advertise it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we advertise it, and we feed the homeless when they come out there to the picnic. And we named it after Miss Neal because she was a member for years and years, and so we just, after she passed away, I guess we just thought that it was a great idea to name it after her, since she was so involved. Even when she was really, really sick, she always still tried to do what she could to help the NAACP. So we just decided to name it the Mary Jane Neal Community Picnic and try to feed the homeless out in the park that day.
Thank you, Ms. Helen. And including in feeding the homeless, we provide resources, informational resources to the community in reference to services, organizations for assistance. So thank you. Now we will have second Vice President, Alan Lambert.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. My report is, I just wanted to remind I'll save my communication stuff for that committee. I just wanted to let everyone know that I had resigned from the city after 5 years. As of early March, I had an offer to work in the private practice, so I've been working and traveling a lot too. So sometimes you might not see me in the member meetings if it's because I'm out of town. But just know that I'm still present and working in the background and helping, especially with our communications committee, to encourage our success in organization. So just want to let you know I'm still here. All right, and looking forward to continuing the work together. And I also want to encourage, we definitely need we still want some help with finding an assistant secretary. Miss O'Neill had resigned just because I think she said that she was busy and there might be a bit of I don't know. It's I don't know if you guys had addressed that at the last meeting, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, just personal issues. She
resigned. Yeah, she just needed time to balance things, so that's okay. No hard feelings, but we just need to look for an assistant secretary again. So I just want to put the word out. So Miss Amber was really great with organization. So if we can find someone who's like her, very organized, that would be awesome. Okay, that's all I have to report as second vice president. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. And I'm going to leave my remarks to after the committee members do their reports. So we will bring Alan back up to discuss communications.
Okay, so on behalf of the Communications Committee, which again, wonderful work by Bianca Hicks to prepare that constant contact tool. And I know Miss Bianca is on the call, so I'm just going to bring up on the share screen what that tool looks like, and then I'll ask Bianca to if she could share a little more information about it. So just as a reminder, everyone, all members, please go to. Let me go on the share screen here. If I can get to it. There we go. Here we go. So if you go to their website, pueblonaacp.net, then if you go to email, so pueblonaacp.net/email, it'll take you to this page, and it'll just give you a little prompt to sign up for email updates. And the reason why we're doing this, so all you got to do is just input your email. You can put your name and phone number if you like, and again, we'll keep that private. It just helps us stay in touch with you to basically to inform everyone of meetings. Really, that's the crucial thing. So we want people to opt in to this system, and Bianca will explain a little more about that. But if we get everyone to opt in, that way we can stop emailing people through the Gmail, because when we just email people directly through the Gmail, especially when we get more than many members, it seems like spam, and those automated email systems will think it's spam and will put it in spam. So when people opt in like this, then that way it'll go through. So Miss Bianca if she'd like to share some thoughts about that. Ms. Bianca?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please do. Yeah.
Thank you, Alan. Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on what some of
Miss Bianca, you're
we can.
Okay. So your signal is kind of choppy there.
Okay, am I still breaking up?
You're doing better now. Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. The nice thing about once we have everybody opted in and just, entering your email like that is what gets it automatically into the system. We will be able to not only send out meeting minutes and notifications and announcements, we can also send out the newsletter that I know Miss O'Brien's been working on through that as well. If we have additional information such as membership expirations or things like that, we can automatically send out reminders and the ability for people to renew their memberships or start a membership through the constant contact tool as well. So it's really powerful. The main thing that we're needing right now is just to get that base foundation of emails and information in the system. That way we can start pushing that information out.
Great. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Alan.
Thank you, Miss Bianca. Thank you so much. And it's a really valuable tool. And Miss Bianca is very working for the United Way, Pueblo United Way. She's implemented this tool for there as well. So she has a great deal of expertise, and I'm very confident that she'll be able to set this up, and we all can support her on that. And it'll really enhance our ability to communicate with our members. So thank you so much for that. Okay.
No, and I just want to piggyback off of that also, and just encourage everyone, please, to opt in, get your email, your information placed inside the program. It's a very effective tool. It's going to make our branch work a lot more effectively and efficiently. It has been adopted by our state conference as well as the national organization. So everyone's using this component, this tool, and I know it's going to benefit the Pueblo branch as well. So I just encourage everyone to please opt in and put your information in as soon as you can. Thank you.
And it is privately maintained by us. So
right.
Right now we maintain a roster, which is just like a spreadsheet and emails, but internally. But this tool, we only have we are Bianca, we have the community, we have the login privately, so no one else can get it except, so just if you're concerned about privacy, it's still just as much private as usual. So we'll keep that protected. All right. Also wanted to take a moment to thank Ms. Patricia O'Brien for her work on drafting a newsletter, which I hope before I had resigned from the city job, I was going to help her polish that. So I still intend on helping with that. But I think as time goes on, we might create a paper newsletter in addition to getting the newsletter electronically. But we definitely want to have a version of the paper newsletter, that front and back one, for a lot of members who don't have email as well. So we ultimately want to, our goal is to have an electronic newsletter for those who have email, and then print a printed copy for those who don't. And so we hope to do that. Oh, Miss Patricia, go ahead.
I just wondered if we had a goal for the next time. I just work better with goals and deadlines. So is there like, I mean, I know that Helen just talked about the summer picnic. Should we kind of designate that maybe May 1 would be our next kind of goal for trying to actually get this on board? Or do people have thoughts about that?
I think based on my experience with the organization and the timing of us to be able to, based on our capacity, I think it'd be realistic if we email or we mail a letter by June 1st. We work on, because it takes more time because we got to like make the letter, print it, mail it, all that stuff. So I think if we can get our goal by June 1st, I think that'll give us enough time to inform members of the July picnic.
And Alan, if I can reiterate that's a mission, a goal of the communications committee. So you all should be meeting and deciding that, and then bring it forth to us.
Sure thing.
Okay.
So Ms. Patricia, it's you. I'll make sure you have my current new number. My phone number had changed, so I'll be sure to. I'll touch base with Ms. Patricia on our next steps, and I think she and I will work together on drafting a brief item for the announcement of the picnic. We have some examples in past newsletters that announced the picnic in the past, so we can draw from that, and then we'll update the current newsletter so it includes that, and we'll definitely make it work. Sound good?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Okay. And then Miss Lori, I wanted to thank Miss Lori for taking the time to meet with me a couple months ago. She and I had sat down and discussed the voicemail system, and we were training on how to log into our Google account, and it's got a voicemail, and so I wanted to thank her for taking the time to learn about that. And I'm gonna follow up with Miss Lori on what we can do with that as well. So I just wanted to thank you for your time on that, Miss Lori. All right. Does anyone have any questions for the communications committee at this time? All right, with no questions. And again, if you do have questions, you can email me, either alan.lamberg@gmail.com, or you can email the NAACP 4005@gmail.com. I check into both of those. So if you got questions or call me, then yeah. And if you call the NAACP number, that'll go to our voicemail too. So if you got questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks again. And that's all I got for the communications committee.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Next is our criminal justice committee, Mr. Ron Wiley.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome.
I have a couple of items. One is for information, and we all are aware of this, that our Chief of Police, Troy Davenport, is retiring. That's a good thing for him, because retirement is a good thing.
Right.
But for us at NAACP, it means that we'll probably have to go through a transition and do some relationship building with the new Chief of Police. That shouldn't be difficult for us, because we know most of the members there already. But we will have to go through that period of a transitioning to a new chief, and to make sure that the goals of the local branch are made aware to the new chief. And the Criminal Justice Committee will take the leadership role in establishing that relationship with the new leadership. And we'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Secondly, the president and I met with a Miss Wendy Talley, who is with the Latino Coalition for Community Leadership. The reason we met, a little bit of background. The Public Welfare Foundation partnered with the Colorado Criminal Justice Reform Coalition and the Latino Coalition for Community Leadership to talk about ways of reforming criminal justice in Colorado. After much talk, it was apparent that local communities need to be involved in any initiative to deal with in that area. So they set up a strategic planning committee, and that committee came up with the concept of Colorado Transforming Justice Initiative. And basically that strategic planning team put together some priorities that should be addressed, but realizing that local communities need to be involved, that team selected 3 counties in Colorado to pilot that initiative. And the 3 counties were El Paso, Mesa, and Pueblo. What the team is looking for is an organization to spearhead the initiative. And what organization in each one of those counties is selected to spearhead that initiative, then their goal is to put together all the partners in that community and come up with a plan to address the priorities of the overall group. And they got some wide-reaching goals that they'd like to achieve. Of course, they'd like to reduce the number of people in prisons and jails. They'd like to develop community policing programs. They'd like to see some reinvestment initiatives in the communities, specifically targeted towards criminal justice and social justice. A number of areas they'd like to attempt to address. After much discussion with Ms. Talley and the state planning committee, they will provide us logistical support, data tracking support, and those type of logistic support efforts to whatever organization decides to spearhead it. But it's apparent that that initiative is, I wouldn't say much bigger, but a great undertaking, and will require a good bit of labor, a good bit of effort, and time put into it. So the president and I, we agree that we'll support any organization that would take the leadership role in carrying out the initiatives of that state planning committee. So that's pretty much where we left it, that we'll be glad to support any, but being the anchor organization beyond our means at the present time.
Correct.
Any questions for me? That's the report of the Criminal Justice Committee. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. The next committee is the Economic Justice Committee with Mr. Holmes, Mark Holmes.
No, it's environmental.
Oh, I'm
Just-
sorry. I'm sorry. Mr. Eric Javanaugh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Please forgive me. I'm looking at my,
That's okay. This happened in the past before. Anyway, to keep it simple, I attended the mayor's meeting a week ago, and he pointed out, in addition to the federal stimulus money, the state is going to be putting a package together. Pardon me, the governor also showed up and indicated the state would be putting together its own stimulus package. So I think from our perspective, we need to get our house in order and get a list of minority-owned businesses, African American, Hispanic, and whatever other classification we can think of, so that we can go in there and lobby them for that, for our share of the pie, to put it bluntly. I think right now things are starting to pick up a little bit, though it's a little queasy because with the new variants of COVID. But I think this is the time to do our homework, and so we can put together a package. Of course, the city will try to get us, will give us a fair shot, but we also have to market ourselves to the private industry. And I think if we get that list together, what we can do, that would really be helpful. And I know we're working on that. Any questions?
let's see.
That's the way I like it. Thank you.
Well, I do want to piggyback off of what Eric just said. The branch has launched out to establish a list of all Black-owned businesses in Pueblo to ensure that we are included in the recovery process under the American Rescue Plan, the Stimulus Act. We want to know, and we are behind the ball. Eric said we should already have this information, but we're trying to accumulate that. This is a one-time, lifetime probably, opportunity where monies are coming into the state and the city. And we have to ensure that all segments, especially the Black small businesses and nonprofits, that we are in the mix, as Eric said, that we're not left out.
And that's correct, Madam President, especially with the state also putting together its own stimulus package. We'd like to get a piece of that too. Thank you.
Exactly. So what I know the mayor has set up some town halls throughout Pueblo to give us opportunity to give our input and recommendations. Those town halls are going to be Tuesday, April the 20th, 10 a.m. at the Steelworks Center of the West on 215 Canal Street, I believe. On the 20th, also at 6 p.m., they'll be having a town hall at the Rawlings Library, the Rouse Room at 100 East Aberrendo Avenue. Then on Wednesday, the 21st at 6 p.m., they have a town hall at La Genta Youth Sports. And that is located at 2804 East 12th Street. Thursday, this is for those that are not feeling comfortable being out. They will host a virtual on Zoom meeting at 6 p.m., April 22nd, 6 p.m. And the meeting ID is 985-3808-2347. And the passcode for that meeting is 192458. And lastly, they will be having a town hall meeting on Friday, April 23rd at 10 a.m. at St. Pius X Catholic Church. And that's on 3130 Morse Avenue. It's important that we participate and give our input as well as our recommendations. I know that I've been speaking with some members of the community that have had difficulties with the process. And we want to make sure that those difficulties are resolved and that we are able to apply for the assistance that is needed in our community and for our constituency. So again, just keep those dates in mind and know that we are working to pursue a share of the pot, if you, for better wording. Again, we did have our discussion with the city on March the 16th. We had a pretty robust conversation, and we did get some things hammered out with that. But most importantly, we have a relationship. We have a partnership with the city and be an avenue to voice our concerns. So please, and what's the other thing? Oh, and just, you know, as I said, we just want to be impacted with, well, we know that the Black community has been greatly, our small businesses have been greatly impacted. And we just want to ensure that we're part of the groundwork moving forward. So thank you, Eric, and thank you, members. If you know any Black-owned businesses in Pueblo, if they can go to our website also and leave that information. But we are trying very hard to get that information so we can move forward and not be passed up during this time. Thank you. And is there any other input or any other questions? Eric, do you have anything else?
Madam President,
Not at this time, Madam President, unless if anybody has any questions at this point, which I can answer.
well, I do have one question. You mentioned a list of minority-owned businesses. Is there someone in charge of compiling that list? Or is that a project we're embarking upon? Or do we have a goal of developing a directory or anything beyond we need a list of minority-owned businesses?
All of that is a yes, Mr. Wiley. We are embarking upon, we need the list and we should have already had it, the directory. Right now, I am the contact person that I've been telling everyone to contact me, but like I said, you can also go through the NAACP website and leave that information and we will get it. But right now, as for our initial movement on this, I have just been trying to reach out to individuals I know via the phone, email, with discussion on this topic and just trying to get the information. I've gone through some of the churches and asking pastors to, see if membership, who in their membership has a business. But yes, we are just trying to develop that. But like I said, we don't have a lot of time in order to take advantage of what's going on right now. So we're behind the ball. So any help, any ideas will be greatly accepted.
Madam President, excuse me, whatever it is you have is catchy. Basically, the next step, once we get that list, and reason time is of the essence, as very few people realize that about a year from now, Pueblo will lose its influence because we will lose our president of the Senate, and the NAA will be termed out too. So we need to get that so we can meet with those two individuals, at least with the NAA, and then advocate and try to encourage them to at least pass a resolution favoring, minority business participation or something so we can at least make some sort of headway. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Eric.
Madam President,
Yes, go.
my question is, Eric, I'm listening to Eric, speak, and my point is in reference to what Mr. Wiley was saying. We need to do it now. Someone need to be forefront in collecting those names of businesses and persons. I hear our wheels turning, but I don't see no traction. And so is there someone who's designated right now other than yourself who could actually start calling and talking to members who may have information on persons who have businesses that we can get their contact information? In other words, before this weekend is over, we need to have at least, a dozen folks, who are in business in the city of Pueblo and present it to whoever that should be presented to sometime next week.
I hear you, and I know Eric is probably the only person on his committee besides myself working. So, but we will get together and we will discuss it. Anyone interested in helping on the Economic Justice Committee? We are willing to accept your assistance. And we do understand that this is a priority, that this is something that we need to get done last week. So please, we are going to be working towards that. And we hear
Okay, well
you.
then
Hear your concern.
Okay, then I would call Eric this weekend and let him know that I have at least 2 names and businesses that I will share with him. I will ask others to probably do the same.
Okay.
Reverend Mack, I look forward to your call. I would be remiss in not giving credit to my wife, Kathy, for the Danae Escar contact point. I thought of Leroy Stout Danae, so I guess it takes a village to figure out what we're doing. And
Yeah.
I think while a week may be over optimistic, I think we can definitely do it by the 1st of May, and make it a May Day project type thing.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. So we will move forward with that.
Madam
Thank you.
President,
Yes. Who am I speaking?
this
Who's
is
speaking?
Ruth Nierenberg. I have some contacts at the Latino Chamber, and I'd be willing to email them and see if they might happen to have a list or a partial list that they could share.
Okay, well, if you can get with if you can send it to me or Eric, that'll be great.
Okay.
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 This is Ron Wiley. Thank you so much, Ms. Nierenberg.
Sure.
Okay. If that's all for the economic justice.
This is Alan. To add to the Ms. Nierenberg's great idea of contacting the Latino Chamber, I'm very well acquainted with their CEO, Stephen Trujillo. So if you do reach out, just keep in mind that the Latino Chamber is a small organization, but powerful and big impact. So they do great things, and I do think it's a great idea. But when you reach out, it's so busy. So don't get discouraged if you don't hear back from them right away. But I think reach out to their office, like copy their office too, so their front office is aware of it as well.
Yeah.
All right.
And Steve gets back with me pretty
Excellent.
quick.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thank you. Next, we'll go, and we know that is an important topic, very important topic. Next, we'll go to our environmental and climate justice, Mark Holmes.
Hi there. Thank you, Madam President, and everyone on the call and on the video. I went to the mayor meet and greet also with my wife and Eric.
I seen you.
Oh, okay. I did stand up and speak about expanded polystyrene contamination at the lake. And I notified him that Thomas Audeby was also received the photos that I took. And so Thomas Otterby with the Board of Waterworks is well aware that we do have the contamination out there. Also, I spoke with Joe Statterman, which is the park manager, and I let the mayor know that he's also aware of this contamination. And also with Colorado State Park Southeast Volunteer Coordinator, Jeanette Lara, and also Andrew Hayes with the Public Works. And so these people are aware of this now. I'm not sure that the mayor really understood the how critical it is at this moment to really act on it, because I told him that Joe Statterman told me that the present private contract that the Park Service has with the operator won't expire until 2023. But he said, well, 2023 is not that far off. But in my way of thinking, the problem is now. It needs to begin to correct it today. So I just want to let you know how that stood. And also I want you to know that anyone that would like to be, assist me on this committee, I'd appreciate any help I can get. We'll tell you that Jared Polis passed me and pointed at my shirt and said, "I like your shirt." So, yes.
See, there's mine.
There it is. So, I mean, that was very nice of him. I think he's a wonderful governor. So basically, nothing's probably going to happen right away. The mayor did ask me later what Thomas Otterby has said, and I said, well, I haven't really contacted Thomas because I know he's had to wait till he had a Board of Waterworks monthly meeting so he could even present this to the Waterworks. So I will stay involved in this and try to see if we can't get it rectified. In the meantime, in the months to come, we may have, if people would like to meet me out there with other people and other organizations, maybe that I can get out there just to clean up just a little bit so that we'll have less contamination in the winds. These winds are blowing it all over the place, and the birds and the fish, they're ingesting it. The people fishing are ingesting it because it's in the fish's guts. So it is an ongoing problem, and I appreciate any assistance I can get. But any questions, I'm always available. And my phone number again is area code 281-923-5938. And I welcome any assistance. It's an ongoing thing. There are 100 cities that have banned some forms of polystyrene. It's a terrible situation. Pueblo has just as big a problem as any other city, with the homeless being fed in these styrofoam containers on the rivers. So I'm thinking there's probably up to 1,000 of these put out there a week. That's a good guess. But also that some of the homeless have actually requested that a city could put a dumpster down in certain areas and they would clean these areas. They're just as concerned about the filth they're living in as we are about having the filth in our city. But anyway, I just want to bring that up. Also, Janet Wilson is also concerned about the trash in the city, and she wants to have a group of people, as many people as she can, in upcoming city council meetings to address the trash in our city. And I think I've covered it all. Let's see. Yeah, for this particular report, that'll be it. But thank you very much to all of you for attending this meeting.
Mr. Holmes, hi, this is Eric. Can you give me your number again, please?
Yes, area code 281-923-5938.
Okay, Mr. Holmes, ask and you shall receive. It so happens I have a dental appointment on Monday, and I'm in front of Dr. Otterby. So before I become mush mouth more than I usually am, I will bring up your concerns and request that I'll give him his, if it's okay with you, give him your name and telephone number so he can contact you. And, if
Right.
there's any questions or he wants to discuss the matter further, that's the best I can
Well,
do.
I've spoken to him a great deal about this because he's also my dentist. And he was the one that requested the pictures, the photos. But I would appreciate you mentioning that you are a member of NAACP and that we are working together on this so that he knows that there are several people concerned about this contamination. The more the merrier. Eric.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And I just want to say, yes, we are very much recruiting membership into all of our committees. We can't have a committee with just the chairperson. So I'm asking all members, whatever your interest is, we have several, based on the agenda, we have several committees, and we can't do any work without membership participation. Our chairs can't do it by themselves. So I just want to emphasize and re-emphasize, if you're interested in any area, economic, climate, education, political action, please contact the chairs of these committees, because there's work to do in each committee. And you see that our chairs are reaching out to the membership for assistance and help.
Yeah, Madam.
We all goals.
Madam-
Oh, I'm sorry. We have goals that we want to achieve. We see the needs, and we just have to have participation to get this stuff done. And I don't know who was trying to speak, but I'll give the floor to that person.
Yeah, it's
Madam
Mark again.
President, this is Ron Wiley.
Oh,
And I simply want to comment on that point. At least the perspective, I think, is probably be more beneficial to us. At least what I want to work with on the Criminal Justice Committee. The recruiting of your friends and other people to be on committees, they don't necessarily have to be a member. We'll work on getting them to be a member later on. But if they have an interest and you talk to them about economic impact or criminal justice or whatever, and they would like to be a part of that committee, by all means, send them to me. And it's the body and the work and the effort that's more important to us right now, and filling the committees. And then later on, the committee chair can work on getting them to become a member. But just want to emphasize that if you've got coworkers, relatives, or friends who like to work on any one of the committees, by all means, send them to the chair. They don't necessarily have to be a dues paying bona fide member at that time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Madam President?
Yes,
Mark Holmes again. I just want to bring up some information for any of the members. Joe Stadterman, it's Stadterman, Stadterman. I have his cell number and his email address. He's the state park manager. I just want to give these numbers out so that people know these. Joe Stadterman, park manager's cell number is 719-252-9090.
Mark, if you could just compile a list of all those numbers.
Okay.
Those individuals, and if we need to reach out to them, we can. Send it to me and I can see that's another component. Everything works interactively. That's another component where the constant contact tool is going to help, because we can send that information out via that tool.
The email. Okay. I will do that. Thank you.
Okay, Great. Let's see. Next, we have finance. I think the finance committee is, let's see, Angela or Dr. Carl Wright. I can speak on behalf of the finance committee. Is Dr. Carl Wright or Dr. Angela Peterkin want to speak? If not, the finance committee is main purpose, and the committee members are the president.
It looks like Angela is ready to speak.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Madam President, you want me to speak about the purposing of the financial?
If you don't mind. Or I can do it. Okay.
I'm here
I want to put you on the spot, but I just want to let everyone know that the finance committee comprises of the president, the treasurer, and we have one other member, which is Dr. Carl Wright. And our main purpose is to get a budget for the branch. That's why I'm asking the chairs to submit a budget of what you, of your goals, of what you want to do, how much it's going to cost, and your, how you're going to, come up with the budget money, a plan to work out the budget. But that's how, that's what our purpose is. And once we get that budget, we will work to ensure that whatever initiatives you are wanting to achieve, that we would have within the Treasury budget. So that's why I have asked for a budget from the committees. So if we could get that done. And if I don't get a budget, I'll just assume that your committee does not need a budget to achieve whatever goals that you have set.
Couldn't have said it better.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Oh, no, you said it perfectly.
Okay, great. Okay, next we have the Freedom Fund banquet. Miss Helen Wiley.
I would just like to report that the Freedom Fund Committee, we met earlier this week by Zoom, but yesterday we had 2 meetings almost back to back with 2 different places. We've got the information on 3 different places, and we'll meet again one day this week. And hopefully by our next meeting, we will have the place that we will be having our Freedom Fund banquet at. We do know that the date will be hopefully October the 29th. That will be the date for the banquet. And again, we've gotten a lot accomplished this week on the Freedom Fund. And we will be submitting our budget too. So I don't know, is there a form that you fill out, or do we just tell the finance committee how much we estimate guess or how much we might need, or is there some type of form that we will need to fill out to let you know how much money we might need for the Freedom Fund?
Thank you, Miss Helen, for reminding me. I apologize to the chairs. I will send out that form. Maybe that's the reason I haven't gotten the budgets. I will send out the form. I do apologize.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone have any questions for me about the Freedom Fund banquet? If not, that's the Freedom Fund report.
Thank you. Legal redress.
Yes, Madam President. Last month I did a training in reference to legal redress. It was a great experience. Did it in the past, and it was just good to refresh my memory on that. I would like to fall into the proper protocol in reference to receiving any complaints that may come your way as members of the NAACP. And we know for a fact that once we get a complaint, we need folks to fill out the right forms, and we access that on the site. So just make sure that, you know, if we have a complaint, we don't ignore it. We just forward to those in the position of handling it. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you in reference to legal redress. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Mack. The next committee is membership. It's Mr. Hinton. Mr. Hinton is not on the line. I would just like to let everyone know that the membership committee has initiated a new letter campaign inviting people to join the branch. As it's been said, if you asked, they will join. If they don't know, or if you don't ask, we may not get the commitment. So that is our one of the initiatives that the membership committee has embarked upon. Next.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
can you explain that letter campaign a little bit?
It's just a letter that has been addressed, well, not addressed, but a letter to people that we feel would be instrumental in what we do as an organization. We're just reaching out to them to share with them what we do and inviting them to come along with us to help us do the work that we do in the community.
How are those people selected?
Pretty much it's just people that we thought of in our head.
Okay, thank you.
But it's open to everyone. So the premise is that if we asked, they may come and join, but if we don't ask, then we know they won't. So what's the name? Political action. Ms. Ivestein White and Sister Marty Poole.
Well, just statements that they were about, of course, racial justice and civic engagement and working on voter registration in partnership with the League of Women Voters, and certainly working on, we'll need to work on the combat tactics that we need for voter suppression that's in Georgia and then other places in the country. And so that's basically what we're about.
Okay, thank
Right.
you. Thank you, Ms. Poole. I just wanted to emphasize something that we were proposing to partner with the League of Women Voters to sponsor a virtual forum or discussion panel on redistricting commissions and the census data. I know most of you probably seen it in the newspaper about the redistricting. No one from Pueblo was chosen to be on that commission, but we feel like it's important that everyone understands why the commission was established, what its purpose is, and how we can put our input into making sure that those districting lines are fair, I guess you can say. As I said, I have reached out to Ruth Nuremberg, the president of the League of Women's Voters of Pueblo, and she's going to reach out to her membership, and hopefully we can come up with a date of when we could do this virtual forum or discussion to get the information out. I know that there's a redistricting proposal meeting April 19th at 2 p.m. at the Pueblo Police Department community room on the first floor. And that meeting will be in reference to establishing boundaries within the city for the 4 council districts. What we're talking about is the boundaries for the state boundaries, the form that we're proposing to do. But we do want the community to you just be educated as to what the redistricting is all about, and make sure they understand and be a part of the changes that may come, because it will affect everyone. And lastly, we are urging all people, all the senators, our Colorado senators, in support of the HR 1 for the People Act, as well as the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. I know everyone is aware of the voter suppression tactics that are going on, and we want to be a part of expanding those rights rather than taking those rights away for everyone, for all people to be able to be a part of the process. So please contact your senators to let them know that we are for those 2 acts. And that's all I have. And I thank you, Sister Poole, for your report.
Madam President, this is Eric.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
May I also, since I'm involved in economics in general, including my own budget, it's interesting that Coca-Cola suddenly had a change of heart when suddenly the people are saying, we're not going to buy Coca-Cola anymore. And other people. So may I strongly encourage that we get together a list of outfits which have not spoken out against these unreasonable, fascistic, and really unlawful acts, in my opinion, that violate the Constitution, and write to them, or start something saying, hey, we don't like this, and we're not going to buy your products because obviously you don't care about democracy, so you don't care about us.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good point, and I certainly support it. So, the next committee is Religious Affairs. Is Reverend Larry Brown on the line?
Don't think Mr. Brown's on the line, Madam President.
Okay.
But one more thing to add for political action. Miss Lori Kern had added a note on the chat about corporations donating money to voter suppression, and I just did a quick search, and I think there was a recent article. I'm going to link it on the chat here from PBS NewsHour about corporations that gave over $50 million for initiatives that support voter suppression. So I just shared that. So I think if you Google or go to pbs.org and just the headline, corporations gave 50 million to backers of voting restrictions, that'll be a pretty informative article that was recently published.
That goes right with what Eric was saying.
Yeah. And thank you, Miss Lori. And thank you, Miss Lori, for bringing that to the attention as well.
Yes, thank you so much. Lastly, we Women in NAACP, Ms. O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. And this is be very brief. I'm still kind of trying to organize my committee by including others. But one thing I do want to let you all know about that is coming forward in Pueblo, for which I'm very grateful and excited about and involved. This is not for public consumption because they have not done their official launch, but there is a group of women and men in Pueblo who are associated with the Women's Foundation of Colorado. which is housed in or centered in Denver. But they're really working to try to do more outreach, including Southern Colorado. And there's a group of folks, like I said, who have created what they're calling a giving circle. And so this will be an opportunity for both philanthropy, but the focus, and the reason I'm talking about it here is that the focus of the giving circle is going to be on girls and women's leadership. And so the idea is to foster really early activities that kind of foster and support leadership in all kinds of ways. And so that means there's going to be some money available. And so I'm going to be really interested in doing outreach, particularly in marginal, whatever we want to call communities that aren't the usual players in receiving funds. And I should also mention that Shanna Farmer, who's the director of the United Way, is a part of this conglomerate of people. So I think this will be an opportunity for really raising some possibilities for supporting projects that are kind of much more grassroots and kind of low level. And it's going to be kind of a group of us who hopefully represent Pueblo and its kind of southern kind of roots to support these projects. So I just wanted to let you know that that's coming down the road. And when it's a little bit more official, I'm sure that there'll be something in the paper about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now we can go to our unfinished business. The first thing is the reparation resolution. We discussed about our chapter, our branch, possibly submitting a resolution to the national for this year's 2021 National Convention. And we have both Steve Mack, Pastor Steve Mack, and Angela Peterkin working on this initiative. And I am going to give the floor to them to go over the resolution, and know that we must have a vote of approval on the resolution for it to be sent to the nationals. So after their presentation, we will have a vote.
Madam President, I'm going to start off, and then I'll ask Sister Peterkin to sort of fill in the blanks. But the reparation proposal in reference to HR 40 has been submitted, or should I say HR 40 has been submitted to Congress for a long time, and we just realized that there's something need to be done in reference to just the proposal of HR 40. So even though there have been a excuse me, resolution submitted in reference to the reparation, we feel that it needs to be presented in a different way in reference to getting to the meat of the proposal, in reference to what we think should be addressed. And through that particular process, it's a lot of study, a lot of background information need to be gathered. But because it's been a long time since this has been proposed in Congress, and also a resolution mentioned to the NAACP, we just believe that a new proposal for reparation should be submitted, and that this particular branch would support it to its fullest extent.
Great, great. Okay, Angela,
Sister Peterkin, insight.
Yes, I'm sorry, I had to mute. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with Reverend Mack's statement. And I think we will present something to the branch concerning our, revision is needed for the statement as it is put in the national office in terms of the policy. The statement has a need of revision, and making that suggestion is what we wanted to put together to submit. So that's something that we'll bring to the branch when it's constructed for vote.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Just for reference point, any resolutions have to be approved by the majority through the membership meeting. So we would have a vote on both Pastor Mack and Sister Angela Peterkin moving forward with this resolution. So can I get someone to make a motion that we do that, and then we'll go on and can I get someone to make a motion that we?
I'll make a motion, Marty Poole. I so move.
Okay.
Helen Wilder, second.
Is there anyone that would second that motion?
I second. Helen Wilder, second.
Okay. Alan, can we take a vote? Roll call?
Affirmative. I'm going to just take, I've just been working on the minutes. Sorry for my delay there. I'll do a roll call. When I say your name, please say yay or nay. And that's my cat in the background saying yay. Okay. So, Alan Lamberg, aye. Helen Wiley.
Aye.
Marty Poole.
Aye.
Reverend Steve Mack.
Aye.
Roxana Mack.
Aye.
Christine Sherberly.
Aye.
Derek, is Derek Peterkin a member? I'm sorry.
Yes, he's a member.
Okay, Derek Peterkin.
Aye.
Eric Chavino.
Aye.
Lori Kern.
Aye.
Mark Holmes.
Aye.
Patricia O'Brien.
Aye.
Patrick Hurley.
Aye.
Ron Wiley.
Aye.
Ruth Nuremberg. Ruth Nuremberg.
Aye.
And
Yes.
Did I miss anyone else? Any members present? Did I miss anyone?
Aye.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Kathy
And
Jaffe.
Sandra Peterkin. Yeah. And Kathy Chavino.
Aye.
Okay. And thank you, Ms. Peterkin. Got your vote too. Did I miss anyone else on the call here? Members present? Okay, it appears that the motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. They can move forward. Okay. The next thing is just the youth membership. We've been discussing this for a while. And I just doing some training with the national training via Zoom. They indicated they mentioned something about just going to the schools and possibly sharing with students and sitting down with students about exactly what social justice is and just give them the information on what NAACP stands for and getting them involved with just social justice. And when I heard that, it clicked in my head and I said, you know what, as the education chair, we're trying to get members, young people, and we do already have some initiative set out for 50 free memberships. And that's been going on for 3 years or more. And we
Yeah.
still not been able to give those memberships out. So I thought that I would reach out to the school district and possibly get permission to go into the schools and even and just present information to the students, do a presentation or do on assembly or something. Just make some kind of contact within the schools, in the buildings, once they go back to school, in reference to what we do and our need, our want of youth participation. So that was what that youth membership initiative was all about. Miss Helen, do you have anything else on that?
No, as of now, I know where, you know, like I say, if you have to go into the schools, I do know that you would probably have to wait till the school start back in August, because as of right now, they're still not letting anyone into the schools or doing any type of anything right now. I talked to the principal the other day, and she said that they hadn't even got the know whether they're going to do graduation this year. They had never told them that yet. So, and they are still not letting anyone into the schools as of right now. Even if you had your shot, they still not. You still can't go into the schools.
Okay.
So if that's something you have to do is go and talk to the students or the teacher, that would probably have to be something put off again, like I say, until August to see how things go in August. But as of now, you can't go into the schools right now.
Okay, sounds good. I know I also want to put it out under this initiative. If you have grandchildren, children, nieces, nephews, people that you associate with, we can, if you have someone that you would like to bring to become a member of our chapter, and then they can have their own little segment of what they can do, been a part of the chapter as a whole. We put that out for all the membership. So if you have a child, or like I said, anyone under 18, that might, well, 17, I guess, that you might think would benefit from just being a part of a social justice organization, we will definitely reach out and give them that scholarship, that 1-year scholarship, so they can see how things are ran and what we do, and get their voices out. You know, the young people do a lot. And I think if we include them, that that'll be beneficial to this branch. So doing that at all the adults on the line. And number 3 is just the national training opportunities. We just completed the first session of training. They started on the second session. Kevin Miles is our national training director. And because of the COVID, you know, they have gone to the Zoom virtual trainings. And this is allowing us to have access to good training to give us a good foundation on every aspect of the NAACP through the national officers. So I took part last Thursday in the parliamentary training, and they will be having another parliamentary training this coming Thursday, I believe. But I just encourage everyone to take advantage of this, because it's in place only because of the COVID. Normally before the COVID, it was the national leadership would go out to the different branches and the areas, and with over 2,000 branches and 9 regions, we weren't savvy to this training, and it's so important, and it's very informative. So as I get the schedule, but every member should be getting the schedule, and you can register for the trainings that interest you. But as I get it, I will pass it on out to the membership. The next thing is just the firefighter recruitment. They have, I think it goes through, I forgot, I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't find it. I believe through May. Eric, do you have that information? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I just
Not at this time, I think it goes through May, but I can get back to you on that because we're having our meeting next week, and I'll confirm that.
Okay, I'm thinking it's May, but I know we're still trying to work with trying to get minorities to apply for those positions. I know the police department was having some problems with recruitment also, and they had extended their application process, but I think it's already closed now. But we do want to think on, I don't know, ways that we could possibly share the information and let folks know that this is a good opportunity. The system is a fair system. And if firefighting is what they desire to do, to not let anything stop flying. The new business, we have already discussed the virtual forum discussion on redistricting commissions. I have also talked with Renee Martinez, who is our regional person with the U.S. Census Bureau. And, you know, due to the delay in counting, that's going to affect some of the redistricting and just the number process. And she's willing to come and talk to us about that also. We already discussed economic empowerment, city stimulus. And the very last thing is just the COVID vaccine initiative partnering with LIFT. State Conference President Rosemary Lytle introduced me to Malcolm McFarland, who is the policy director for our region with LIFT. They have a program called Lift Up Access, which is a program that joins forces with 11 leading Black organizations to include the NAACP to eliminate transportation barriers. They're hoping to provide 1.5 million rides at free or reduced fares to help the underserved Black communities. This is oversees the Pueblo area, and he wants to work with us to ensure that these barriers are not something that's a setback for our communities. And it's not just getting you to vaccine for your COVID, but also for groceries, possibly taking you to job interviews, job fairs, you know, so it encompasses more than just rise to COVID, and it's an initiative that they want to take it beyond COVID. So I am in, I had a brief discussion with him last night, and I invited him to the executive committee meeting for May to present his presentation to the committee. And upon that presentation, we can move forward, or we can decide what we want to do as if we want him to present it to our membership. But it sounds like a good program, but so we will move forward and having him come and discuss it more on virtual meetings for May.
Pardon me, Madam President, just making
Yeah.
sure that Mr. Malcolm isn't on the call, because there's a phone number ending in the extension of 023. Is that Mr. Malcolm on the line there?
Oh,
I don't think so. Okay. Well, all right.
okay.
I did have a potential addition to the agenda or announcements. Is that all right if I mention that? So
You may.
yeah, right before our meeting today, Miss Leslie Lopez had emailed us at our email address, and I just happened to catch that and share with her the our agenda today. So she's been on the call all this time and patiently listening. And since she's been listening, I want to just to briefly, if Miss Lopez, if you could just introduce yourself, and I saw you had shared an item, and what we'll do is we'll share that with our executive committee about the initiative. But if you just want to take a minute to share about the initiative here, and we'll take it from there. Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much for sharing the link with me. And Madam Chair, with your permission, I'd like to just share. I was waiting for announcements to share my flyer. I've uploaded it to the chat room or to the chat bar. My name's Leslie Lopez. I'm a tenured faculty at the University of Hawaii, but I was born and raised in Pueblo and went to District 60, graduated from East, and then went on to USC. After USC, I completed teacher's licensure in New Mexico, and then ended up in Hawaii working at the Center for Labor Education and Research, where where I'm tenured. I do come back home to Pueblo regularly to help care for my elderly parents, and as we've all been doing, many of us have been working online throughout the pandemic. However, a group of workers who have not been working online have been food service workers. They've been showing up to the kitchens and providing much needed meals for children and families in need. In addition to that, SRDA shut down during the pandemic, and they were able to provide meals for elders. District 70 had to shut their kitchen for a short period of time because one of their food service workers became ill, and District 60 workers picked up the slack and provided meals for them. So throughout this pandemic, District 60 food service workers have really fulfilled much, needed services during this crisis.
Mhm.
As a result, unfortunately, a week before Christmas, they were informed by District 60 administration that their contract, this is just after they signed a contract with AFSCME, a 3-year contract. They received word that the District 60 administration was looking at outsourcing their contract to some of the largest multinational corporations like Sodexo and Chartwell's. By the way, Chartwell's CEO makes over $6 million a year. Sodexo CEO makes 6 million a year. And unfortunately, a lot of the counties east of here, I noticed Otero County has also outsourced to Chartwell. So think about that. These are state tax dollars, local tax dollars going to multinational corporations. So it's also a broader issue of, and an issue of workers' rights being civil rights. And just what's happening is just really wrong with the District 60 food service workers. So we have the flyer. We're distributing flyers during food distribution on every Friday until the board meets at the end of the month. And we'll be having an online rally as well. And that will take place in a few weeks. So the dates for the online rally, and they have established a Facebook page where you can support them there as well, is listed on the flyer. Just an FYI, a little background story. My senior year at USC, the first time I was ever arrested and not charged was when students a group of students and I occupied the administration building when they were in the process of outsourcing food service workers. And so that's just a bit of background and my passion and interest in supporting, civil service really are the heart of the community, folks. As a licensed teacher, I know that, food service workers, custodians, maintenance, they provide the heart and the stability to many school communities. And so, it's really important that we stand up for and show them that we support them. Yeah.
Okay.
For your time, I appreciate it.
And Ms.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez.
Yeah, this is Eric, a quick one. Ms. Lopez, you might want to consider contacting Mary Beth Corsentino, the head of the Democratic Party in Pueblo County. I'm her second, and we have a pretty strong union feelings as far as supporting. So you might, if you're not already in contact with that organization, which I'm a member of, and so is my wife, you might want to do that post haste. And what kind of timeline are we talking about with this kind of decision would have to be made?
Okay, well, the board is going to be taking it up at the end of at this April meeting, and I believe they're not voting on it until May.
Right.
So I will contact, just again, as being locally growing up here, my background, the Ortiz family, and my parents were married on the same day in the same church in St. Leandro. so I'm familiar with in fact, before when I was during my bachelor's at USC, I was in the Latino in Chamber of Commerce and working in the Chicano Democratic Caucus as well. So I will reach out to the Democratic Party. Thank you so much for that.
And on behalf of everybody, aloha.
Aloha. Yeah.
Ms. Lopez, this is Ron Wiley.
Yes, sir.
My question concerns where District 60 is in the process. The last information I had, they were researching it and considering it to see whether or not it's an alternative. That's the last I heard. If that is still current, do I understand your position to be a preemptive strike against a decision going against the food workers?
Yes, sir, that is correct. However, it's a little bit more than consideration just in terms of the writing on the wall. They were informed by HR, as I said, a week before Christmas, that they were considering outsourcing their contract, and they don't have in their contract any provision preventing the district from doing this while the contract is in effect, unfortunately. In addition to that, we're noticing Sodexo already advertising food management positions for large school districts in Pueblo, which would mean, could mean that Sodexo is also prepping to bid for the contract and have workers in place for that. So yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Ms. Lopez, I want you to know that it was just brought to my attention yesterday by I stopped and talked to some of the protesting, the food service protesting at East High School, and got some information in reference to this plan. And I know that it would affect about 120 to 150 staff members who live in our community. And so I was concerned about it when I spoke with them yesterday, and we did get some flyers, and we have passed some flyers out, but and I've given them to some of our members to pass out to their parents. But we do stand behind having to protect their jobs. And we understand, just from what I got yesterday, that the district is trying to outsource not just food service, but maintenance, custodial, as well as the bus drivers. And I understand that the bus drivers have already been outsourced to a company. But we understand that, the people of the community we have to protect, and we know that privatization is not always the best way to do things, and that the service workers are a part of our community. They want the best for our children. And we don't know what will happen if someone tries to come in and take over. We know privatization hasn't had a great, what would I say? Hasn't worked,
No.
benefited the people. Let's put
Chicago
it-
Public Schools just actually canceled their contract with Sodexo.
Yeah.
And Aramark, because they had contracted out Aramark to the custodians and Sodexo to food service, and Chicago Public Schools just canceled that contract. Just to illustrate, in Hawaii, many of the, or some of the public schools that had contracted out to Sodexo over the pandemic, they were unable to provide meals, and so they had to rely on the state contracted, the state civil service food service workers, because they had the infrastructure, they had the training, the food handling training, they had sick leave, most importantly, sick leave. So think about that. Do you want a private company or workers with no sick leave and very little training providing meals for the public during a pandemic? It's a health and safety issue.
So I'm suggesting that we call the district, we go to the school board meeting, which will be April the 26th. And the online rally is going to be Wednesday, April the 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't hashed out the times for that yet, but we will be posting updates on the Facebook page, and then we'll be coming out with another flyer sometime this week that'll have more details. And we're seeking panelists for the online rally. We're going to have a presentation and then a panel. So we're pulling together panelists.
What's the name of the Facebook? What's the name of the Facebook page?
Let's see. I think you would search. Let me look at the flyer.
It says support D60 Foodworkers staff.
Correct. You just search on the Facebook page, support D60 Foodworks staff. That's correct. And if you search for that in Facebook, then you'll come to the group.
Yeah.
Madam President, I'd like to propose a motion that we support their activities to keep the food service situation as it currently is at this time, without outsourcing it to a private industry, which tends to discriminate against minorities in any case, and against all general employees in my experience. And I used to represent these people, so I know them better than most other people do.
Right. And I was going to reach out to our media resources and put a statement out that the NAACP does support our food service workers, and we do not support taking their jobs from them and giving them to a private company, as they are members of this community that support the community, that are vital to the existence of our community and the welfare of our kids, our students. So, a lot of them know the students by name, there's a relationship there. And I just don't think, I had it on my agenda for emergency action plan because it just came up to me, yesterday. So I do want to put out something in reference to the NAACP supporting our food service workers and all of our workers at the school system. So.
Thank you.
Sounds good, Ms. President.
I'm sorry?
I just said, sounds good, Ms. President.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And Leslie, I'll start the conversation with Mary Beth, since I know her pretty well. And hopefully, this will be fruitful.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I think the more people that get out, the better. If they understand that we're against that. So.
I posted my email in the chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Okay. Now we're doing.
I just wanted to say one thing about that as well, Ms. Lopez. And I was an attendee to University of Hawaii. Aloha. I did a lot of graduate work there.
Oh,
But yes,
great.
yes, I really do believe in what you're talking about in terms of this particular issue. I did want to ask a question about the farmers. I don't know. I was listening to you, but I didn't know if there was a contact to the local farming community as well.
You know, that's part of when I grew up, my father used to organize with Cesar Chavez, and he did come here, and we did have a United Farm Workers, but I don't know if there's a United Farm Workers chapter here now. One of the things I'm curious about, and one of the research projects I'm working on actually is in Hawaii, they organize the agricultural workers there under the ILWU. Here, I'm interested in how the marijuana workers are being organized, because I haven't seen any representation or a contract coming out of that industry, because I'm noticing a lot of as I drive east to my in-laws, towards Rocky Ford, there's a lot of warehouses dotting the landscape using well water in that industry. And I see a lot of workers in that industry, and I'm looking up and seeing a lot of the profit that is coming through that industry. But I don't know what, what type of agricultural organizing is happening with those specific workers. As far as the farmers in the area, that provide, the produce at the stands and things like that. A lot of them are sort of the private, family-owned farms. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now we're to the announcements, and I know that Ruth wanted to make an announcement.
Yeah, let's see. First of all, am I on mute? I am unmuted.
No,
Good.
you're not.
About the redistricting forum, first of all, the time and place haven't been selected. I'm going to meet with the league board on Tuesday. I can't imagine they're going to object to this in any way. I'm glad you've already reached out to Renee with the census, because I think she's going to have to do some defending there.
Yeah.
The people that I thought about for speakers, and I'm waiting until after my own board meeting to say anything about this, but I'm thinking of Tony Lorson, who helped to draft the ballot initiatives that everybody voted on, Y and Z, that established these commissions. I'm thinking about Beth Momskog. She's a mathematics professor at UCCS, and she did some of the mathematics, the population mathematics behind how this redistricting process should go. And I think that we could probably reach out to the staff at the redistricting commission to come in and just make sure that they hear what we have to say about that. So I just wanted to tag that on there, and we should be getting in touch fairly soon and getting to work on this just right after the Tuesday board meeting.
Okay, sounds good. And I know there's a link you can go on to give your input to the legislative districts redistricting commission, as well as the congressional district commission. So I don't have it offhand, but there is a link that you can go on. But we look forward to being able to co-sponsor this and get it forth to the community. Is there any other announcements or comments?
I'd like to make a comment, Marty Poole. I was really disappointed to hear that Captain Troy Davenport was retiring. And he's been, we finally found somebody that was easy to work with and willing to work with and supportive, and now he's retiring. But I suggest the NAACP do something for his retirement, a card or something. That's number one. The other thing is I heard a report on the news, and I thought it was really enlightening, from the Asian American elected officials about the violence against Asian Americans. Of course, that's just rampant. And it was refreshing to know that they said that they appreciated the NAACP was one of the first organizations that came to their help and their rescue. So, well, we showed up wherever we were. It's nice to know we show up wherever we're needed. Right.
Amen. Okay. I do want to make an announcement. We lost one of our members last week, Kay Thomas.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
a resolution. I have made up a resolution that I will present to the family. And we will be sending a card out to the family. So just pray for that family. Kay and Shadrach Thomas, Reverend Pastor Shadrach Thomas, both are members of the NAACP. Are there any other announcements or comments? Is there any other announcements or comments from anyone for the good of this meeting? If not, I am going to adjourn the April monthly meeting and thank each of you for joining us today and for your participation.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next month and
Thanks.
hopefully,
Thank you.
okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See y'all.